Hello, and welcome to another episode of Gringo Talk Time with John. We've once again jumped a little bit ahead outside of keto, moving forward after that robbery I spent on the journal entry. I was there for another 3 to 4 days before I finally went out to the airport, hitched a ride in the back of a truck with my new roommates, essentially, a family that I would live with in Ukiah. A cloud forest town an hour outside of Quito, where I would live and work with them in the calla lily fields, the organic calla lily fields. Also there are a few Colombians, Pedro and Elkin, and it happened upon one Friday night that they asked myself and Alana out, Alana being the other American that was volunteering at the farm from Berkeley, whom I actually ran into at the market the other day, so that was kind of fun. And anyways, here we go. So this is about meeting them out at the local pool hall, which is really just a slatted together 10 by 15 room with plenty of cracks. I emerged from my cave of a room, dressed to the nines in my nicest, only, jeans, and freshest, only, polo shirt, to watch Alana walk in the living room door. This is where things are supposed to happen in slow motion, and the sweet popular song of the times fades in, and we look longingly into each other's eyes, but we still smell a bit of the farm. "Ready for this?" she asks, adjusting her sweater. "I think it's going to be fun. Don't you play pool?" "Not really." "Well, we'll just have to be partners. I just memorized the words attempt and gamble, in case something should arise." "I hope not. You really shouldn't have this much confidence in me. Or maybe you just think you're that good." Also, I'm going to be trying to do a girl's voice and a British girl's voice, so stick with me. She plays on my ego well, but I ditched the setup for a shoulder shrug. Alana is in jeans as well as her North Face sweater, dressing consistently with other nights where we weren't hitting the town, or pool hall, or shack. The afternoon drizzle has held over into the night, but it's not enough to warrant wearing the gumbies. Fluke raises his head as we step from the stairs onto the patio, the vibrations waking him from slumber. He decides to escort us, trotting slowly behind on a constant lookout for trouble. The town is socked in and visibility is down to 50 yards. The sparse streetlights look like candles in the moist air, hovering in the dark night. In the quietness, laughing and the occasional crack of pool balls colliding together can be heard. Ukiah is secluded, at this moment, from everything busy and distracting. Fluke follows Alana and I to the door of the pool shack, casually turns, and walks away. Alana and I watch him cross the unpopulated soccer pitch until he disappears into the fog. The pool shack is the middle building in a row of structures lining Ukiah's soccer field that will be fully operational tomorrow during the Women's Championship. But tonight, only one candle burns. I can hear Elkin's high-pitched giggle, and somewhere in the silence is Pedro. We both take deep breaths and push the door in. 10 men/boys surround the table, only 3 with pool cues, all of them smoking. Elkin greets us, and that eases the tension a decibel, but inquisitive eyes still wonder what the gringos are doing here. The mistress of the hall sits on a stool in the corner, selling 24-ounce Pilsner lagers, Coca-Cola, nuts, and what looks to be ham sandwiches and lollipops. A beer costs $1 and I buy 2, handing one to Alana. In South American fashion, I also receive a cup to drink the beer from, as guzzling from the bottle is unruly. The shack isn't more than 15 by 10 feet, but the smallness creates a natural heater, warming all of us from the cool night outside. The table itself is battered with tape on both ends and shows a definitive slope to the back right pocket. It's a 6-footer with speckled green felt, punctured in various places from years of play. The ball count seems short, but they're not playing 9-ball because stripes make up the majority of the spread. In short, it's a pool table in the middle of nowhere. "Elkin," I get his attention. "Where are all the balls?" "We only have 6 through 14. So how do you play?" "You have to make balls in order. 6, then 7, then 8. So, like 9-ball? Like what?" 9. It's not important. I understand. Can Alana and I have the next game? Sure. Alana finally takes her hands out of her pockets and sips from the poured beer I hand her. We're up next, I anxiously announce to her. Fantastic. Try to sound a little happier. Just don't expect anything. Low expectations are my specialty. Elkeen is easily the most talented of the local boys. That being said, he's no Paul Newman. The table is unforgiving and won't reward even a good shot. The tack seems to be to combo as hard as you can because a ball without pace falls victim to table roll. Placing English on the cue ball is an optimistic affair not to be attempted, unless you want to miss. Cigarettes are smoked, balls fall inconsistently, beers are drank. Just a beautiful Friday night. Elkeen finally holds the 15, and being the watchful observer, and not wanting to get screwed out of our turn, I bound from my stool and grab the losers' cues from their hands. The proprietor catches my attention and holds out her hand. Elkeen perks up from the corner. It's $1. $1? $1. I place $1 in her palm and hand Alana the spare cue. Ready? Whatever. Elkeen breaks and makes his first 2 balls, but it's not like it matters because the last ball made proves the winners. In fact, the faster we get there, the better. The locals' eyes expectantly watch us, interested in what skills the Gringos possess. Each tries to start up a conversation with Alana, but she smoothly escapes without providing any final thought that might make a lad think he's got a shot. Her subtle rejections instantly thwart attention my way, and each asks me if we're dating. None can believe that it's not true. I just met her a week ago, I keep telling them. You didn't travel together? No. You didn't know her from before? No. Every guy, all night. She's used to the South American man's aggression, having traveled nearly every country on the continent, and expects the mix of flattery and aggressiveness. But it's new to me and makes me a bit uncomfortable. To do the manly thing and try to save her is unnecessary as she talks and smiles, but escapes each fluidly to hit her attempt. The game takes 20 minutes, too long for the amount of balls and rules, only ending when I hit a lucky shot, pocketing the 15 in the uphill corner pouch. Alana isn't aware of what's going on, but probably picks up from my posturing that we are victors. 2 guys grab the loser's cues, and then another goes for Alana's. I quickly think about whether to intervene, calling on what I thought is a universal rule that winners stay. But then again, this is not Seattle. Elkeen will know. Hey Elkeen, I yell across the room. Winners stay, right? Keep the table? But we won. We are winners. Yeah. Disappointed, the fellas that thought they were going to get to jump in line hand Alana her cue back. In celebration, I purchase 2 more beers and tell Alana that this will be my last one. She nods and lifts her eyebrows, telling me that she fully agrees. Behind her Behind her, the entrance door cracks, and in steps some pale skin. 1 boy, 1 girl. He's of the hipster variety, which is hard to do so high in these mountains, and she is lovely and red-haired and wearing a flattening... Jesus. He's of the hipster variety, which is hard to do so high in these mountains, and she is lovely and red-haired and wearing a flattering wool cap. They must be British. Alana passes her cue to Elkeen, telling him he should play. Elkeen looks at me and I shrug my shoulders and give a fist pump, hopefully relaying the message that I'm happy to have his talents on the squad. Around the rest of the table, the local boys are spinning now, not sure what to do other than hunt the nearest loose piece of wood around. I don't blame them. This redhead is giving me a bit of excitement too, but I stay back, hoping my pool skills will lure her in. After 4 straight missed shots, plan A isn't working, so I go for plan B. Hey, I'm John, grabbing some time with her in the corner. Ellie. Wow, you are from England. The accent? Yes. And you? The States, but Seattle specifically. And what brings you here? That's Irish, Jesus. To beautiful Yungia? Yes, to beautiful Yungia. Working on a farm, actually. The majority of my co-workers are here tonight. And with each name, I point them out. Alana over there, hiding. Elkeen, my partner, and the quiet Pedro. Did you know her before you came here? Geez, that's the question of the night. No, we didn't know each other. But we're both from the West Coast, so we get along pretty well. Why is that? Elkeen gives me the, "It's your turn, so stop hitting on that girl and take a shot" look. And with consistency I miss. Sorry about that. You know, the game. Anyways, West Coast people are generally different from East Coast people in that we're generally nice and are easy to get along with. Sounds nice. It really is. So, you and your boy? Same story. Just met him. And what are you doing here? Teaching English. I think if you're working in South America, you're either working on a farm or teaching English. And those are the options. I think I have to agree with you. Sparingly, we review my trip and her upbringing in London. I honestly expressed my want to go there, not expecting an invitation in return. And she doesn't surprise me with an extra set of house keys. Elkeen and I lose, but I don't really care because my beer is almost gone, and I'm talking to a girl I don't spread geese poop around with all day, and isn't 16. I exchanged cordialities with the gentleman, and he's nice enough. The way I see it, if you're out of your home country on your dime and essentially volunteering in another country, you can't be a terrible person. Nodding at Alana to see if she's ready to leave, I get a grandiose head bob back. Yep, time to go. We make the rounds, saying goodbye to Elkeen and Pedro and our previous competition. The boys look longingly at Alana, and I feel like the proud man I should, getting to escort her home, even if we are sleeping in separate rooms. We're old-fashioned like that. Outside the creaky door, the night accepts us once again, wrapping us in moisture. Goblets of water start clinging to our clothes, acting like static on cotton. Slits of light line the ground, leaking from the gaps in the shack's construction. We both zip our respective zippers and begin across the pitch. Not terrible, I say. Not terrible. Just imagine what the dance is going to be like tomorrow. What dance? There's a dance after the women's championship football game. No. Yes! I look away and grin, anxious of all the possibilities. More so excited to watch the youth of Yungia in awkward teenage mode. The weekend has only just begun. That's pretty bad, right? After I say no, we didn't know each other,